Welcome back to KBC Lunchtime News on this fourth day of June 2026. Time to have a comprehensive look at the headlines shaping up the news conversation in the country and beyond at this moment. My name is Njue. Lucy Moura is my co-anchor on the sign language interpretation. For comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from, we are live on all our media spaces. Moving on, the Kenya Medical Research Institute, KEMRI, has donated Ebola management and control equipment to Busia County. The initiative aims to strengthen preparedness against the deadly disease along the Kenya-Uganda border. During the handover ceremony at Busia County Referral Hospital, the leader of the KEMRI delegation, Dr. Ferdinand Adungo, assured the county government of continued support in disease surveillance, research and emergency response. Busia County Deputy Governor and County Executive Committee Member for Health, Arthur Odera, reaffirmed the county government's commitment to strengthening disease surveillance and response mechanism, particularly along the porous Kenya-Uganda border. According to the World Health Organization, at least 60 people have died in the Democratic Republic of Congo and 12 cases and at least 1 death in Uganda.
Sanitizer, personal protection equipment, and some thermal guns, and also some disinfectant, which helps us to get rid of whatever impurities and viruses there may be around us.
KEMRI is basically leading in the diagnostic part. Laboratories are currently working, and we are actually on the top of testing any suspected samples that have arrived into the country. So in addition to that, KEMRI will also deploy a number of personnel to support the screening at the point of entry. So as we continue to receive more consignment on disinfectants, we also have the hand sanitizers. And then we also have the PPEs. In addition to that, the thermal guns that are necessary at the screening point.
Moving on, persons with disabilities, PWDs, are advised to utilize government funds for self-improvement and to take advantage of government programs to help uplift the living standards. National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya, NFDK, board member David Musila says the government has continued to increase allocation to PWDs across the country.
Serikali na fund ili kusaidia watu kujiendeleza maisha yao ili waishi maisha kama watu wengine.
Wale watu tumeregister wenye wako na disabilities ni 56,348. Those are the people tumeregister with disabilities through e-citizen. Kwanza ile current kupitia e-citizen. Na kati ya hawa wenye tumeita wapate usaidizi leo ni watu 22. Wenye wamekuja leo kupata usaidizi.
I'm visually impaired. Na siku ya leo niko na furaha sana. Sababu nimesaidika, nimepewa farming kit. Hii itanisaidia kwa kulima. Mimi nalimanga and I'm also a business woman.
Residents of the Bondeni area in Athi River, Machakos County have been warned against a growing number of fraudsters posing as government officials and agents offering to help them acquire vital government documents, including birth certificates at a fee. According to Area Chief Cecilia Nzioka, thousands of residents have lost money to scammers promising quick and easy access to the documents. She said the initiative was launched to assist residents who have struggled for years to obtain birth certificates and have often fallen prey to conmen exploiting their desperation. More than 170 residents received birth certificates during the exercise, while over 700 others have so far registered to acquire the crucial document.
Lakini unapata hizo birth certificates haziko genuine kwa sababu kulingana na sheria za birth certificate, mtoto anafaa kuchukuliwa birth certificate wakati mahali amezaliwa. Na wengine unapata mtoto ni kama amezaliwa Machakos na inaenda kuchukuliwa Kajiado. Rahisi sana kukipata kwa sababu wafanyikazi wengi hapa hawana nafasi ya kuenda mahali kwa hizi registration offices ili kuprocess hizi certificates zao.
Nimepeana 200 ndio hii birth certificate sipati. Kapeana tena 300 sipati. lakini siku ya leo nimeshukuru sana kuipata.
In other news, Victory Farms has launched a 2.2 billion shillings aquaculture project at Doho in Kanam location, Rachuonyo West Sub-County, Homa Bay County, to boost tilapia production and reduce fish shortages in Kenya. Victory Farms founder Joseph Rehman said the investment would reduce importation of fish and position Kenya among the world's leading tilapia producers. Governor Gladys Wanga said the project was a result of agreements signed during the county's 2024 investment conference and is expected to create about 400 direct jobs and more than 3,000 indirect employment opportunities in the county.
And if you look at the big picture of Kenya's foreign exchange position, if we reduce import of the tilapia that we are having to bring in, and we are able to sustain ourselves from Homa Bay, we are very happy, and we are happy with the record of Victory Farms in terms of engaging with the communities.
Second large farm here, 10 years later. Continue to invest in Kenya to grow, and importantly, Kenya can produce all of its own fish, for sure. We've always believed in that, and now we're proving it, that Kenya can be its own supplier and grow everything at home, and it can be wonderful and fresh.
We look forward to working very closely with the community and to creating jobs here and to continuing to feed families fresh, affordable fish.
From Homa Bay to Kajiado County, where residents of Chuna Estate in Kitengela, Kajiado County, are celebrating a facelift after they collaborated with the Kenya Rural Roads Authority to construct a 1-kilometer road linking the estate to the main highway. The project, which also included the construction of a main gate, has been hailed for easing mobility and enhancing security. The initiative comes amidst complaints over poor road conditions in various estates across Kitengela.
You can see on the ground, sisi tayari tunaelekea Singapore based on the things we are doing. The project entails a mega gate, as you can see. We have also not only just the gate, we've made it an automated gate. Tarmacking, that's another effort now, which because when I say the government, we are working close to the government. It is now the effort. The government has come in with the tarmac.
This has been made possible also, other than the support from the residents. We have a regular contributions which come in terms of development.
This is a clear indication that great minds live in Chuna, and this is a clear indication that we can come together and within our own small ways create change and meaningful change.
Moving on, the government has stepped up efforts to restore the Mau Forest Complex through sport-based conservation by launching the second edition of the Mau Forest Conservation Marathon to mobilize resources, raise awareness and speed up ecosystem restoration. Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Engineer Festus Ngeno, said the initiative has recorded notable progress since its launch in October of 2025. The community-driven program has seen the planting of 1.5 million seedlings and rehabilitating 1,500 hectares of degraded forest in under a year. He urged public participation, noting that this year they are targeting 2,500 participants, with about 500 already registered ahead of the June 25th, 2026 deadline.
We have restored over 1,500 hectares so far of forest land, with approximately 1.5 million seedlings already grown in the region. Our restoration approach was initially labor-based. We moved to what we call the adoption of a block initiative to the current Tree Establishment and Livelihood Improvement Program, TELIS, which has become the game changer in the restoration of the Mau Forest Complex. As we start the second edition on the 1st of July 2026, We require again additional resources of up to 2.1 billion shillings, as I mentioned earlier. And we thank our current partners for their giving and invite others to join us in this transformative journey. And we also expect that the marathon that will be staging on the 3rd of July shall raise some of these resources.
Hundreds of traders from Marindi Market in Migori County have received grants to revive their businesses months after floods swept through the area and destroyed property. Migori Woman Member of Parliament Fatuma Mohammed said the assistance will enable business owners to rebuild their enterprises after the losses, while lauding the grants as timely. Beneficiaries called for stakeholders' involvement in the construction of the Marindi Modern Market to fast-track it so that they can work in a safer and more conducive environment.
Wale wanaofanya biashara ndogo ndogo kwa sababu ni ngumu wao kupata loan kwenye mabenki. Ndio tukaona kama wale waliochaguliwa tuungane pamoja kama marafiki tuweze kuchangia.
Nahisi vizuri kama mfanyabiashara katika soko la Marindi kuletewa support kama hii, tutainua biashara yetu na tutasema ni asante. Shida kuu ni sehemu tunafanyia biashara hizi barabara za humo ndani, kukinyesha kunakuwa ni matope. Tunakaa kama wenye wanafanya biashara kwa zizi la ng'ombe. Ya pili, ikiwa ni wakati wa mwangaza, jua kali, tunachapa na jua. Sasa wafanye hivyo, wamalize biashara ya kufanya pazuri. Tutashukuru.
And from Migori to Marsabit, where the Marsabit County government has initiated the process of land registration for the communities as the residents begin to formally register their ancestral lands for the first time since independence. The residents of Uran, Sololo and Turbi have elected members of community land management committees. There's growing confidence that communities will finally be able to determine the futures of their lands.
Ipate uhuru. Mwaka hiyo yote hatujawahi sajili ardhi yetu. Ardhi yetu hapo awali ilikuwa tu inaitwa community land.
Kidogo kidogo napatia watu ardhi na lete matatizo. Na hiyo shida yote inaonekana amekusha leo.
Leo tumefurahi kwa sababu maoni yetu imesikika. Sasa tumeonekana Kenya imetutambua.
It's a very great step from the government side because this is the initial step to community having legal documents of ownership to their parcels.
Look forward to faster completion of this community land registration so that we give the community the rights to use their land in the way that it can benefit them.
And still on land, the Ministry of Lands has opened the first ever land registry in Mogotio constituency, Baringo County, in a move aimed at bringing land services closer to the residents. Speaking during the official opening ceremony, Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome said the new registry will ease access to land services for locals who have long been forced to travel to Eldama Ravine and Nakuru to process title deeds and other land-related documents. Wahome further revealed that the registry has already prepared 20,000 title deeds which are set to be issued to residents. She also cautioned officers against corruption, urging them to uphold integrity and serve the public diligently.
Watu 20,000, karibu 21,000 watapata huduma, karatasi zao, documents zao, records zao ziko hapa.
Na ndio leo tuko hapa kuhakikisha kuwa tunafungua hii registry ndio watu wapate huduma kwa karibu. Watu kutoka kule Olgokwe, kutoka Waseges, sio lazima wakuja waende mpaka Eldama Maravini. Sasa watapata huduma yao hapa kwa karibu.
Wamengoja kwa muda, kuna watu wajaiona title deeds hapa dunia yetu. Asante sana, umefanya leo imewezekana na mmetuletea, na siku ya leo wataweza kumiliki miliki sao za mashamba zao.
Away from land matters, hundreds of youth in the hospitality industry are set to benefit from job opportunities following the establishment of 10 TGI Fridays, an American world-class restaurant across the country. Speaking after inking a deal with Pride Inn Hotels, Pride Inn Managing Director Hasnan Nurani said the entry of TGIF in Kenya will also add value and bolster the growth of the country's tourism sector. One restaurant is expected to be opened by the end of this year at Pride Inn Azua in Nairobi.
We will definitely need a team of great people working specifically for the TGIF within Pride in Azure. And we are looking at an average of nearly 80 people just working for the TGIF within just one branch alone. All right, so that brings in an additional extra employment, extra value add that we are adding within the country. By having TGIF in Kenya, we believe that we are going to add value in growing that tourism sector.
But there are other products that we will buy locally wherever we can, and we'll work with the team here and the supply chain team within Pride Inn to make sure we're using local suppliers, local manufacturers and local product where we can. So you also support the local community as well as outside.
Now, leaders from the Pokot community have defended the National Government Constituency Development Fund NGCDF, criticizing ongoing court cases challenging its legality. Speaking during the launch of the 2025-26 NGCDF bursary program in Pokot South constituency, the area member of parliament, David Kosing, said the fund has transformed the lives of thousands of learners from marginalized communities by enabling them to stay in school. He further accused critics of the fund of ignoring the challenges faced by residents in remote areas, saying the program has been key in supporting poor and needy learners for years. A total of 48 million shillings was disbursed to support learners from poor backgrounds and improve school retention rates.
Kila siku kuna wakora wanaenda gotini, wanapinga CDF, hawataki wapeane CDF. Mimi nataka niambie hawa leo wenye wanatuangalia hapa, si Nairobi. Ngawaje mimi ni bunge nakaa Nairobi ama naongea pale Nairobi, lakini naongea hapa Shalpo. Tuko na shida ya ukame. Ng'ombe inakufa, shamba hatuwezi lima, hatuna cha kutegemea kwa upande hii. Sasa kwa sisi tumefurahia kwa siku ya leo.
But well, for our next item, we look at the cabinet, and today we highlight the lives and times of former powerful cabinet minister in the Moi era, J.J. Kamotho.
John Joseph Kamotho was born in 1942 in Mathioya, Murang'a District, present-day Murang'a County. He attended Mudangari Primary School before joining Jombe Intermediate School. In 1962, he completed his Cambridge School certificate and left for the Soviet Union to pursue university studies. The experience exposed him to the language and political culture of the socialist bloc, influences that would later shape his distinctive style of communication. On returning to Kenya in 1968, Kamotho was employed as a lecturer at the Kenya Institute of Administration, now the Kenya School of Government. 2 years later, he traveled to the United Kingdom on a scholarship to pursue a master's degree in public administration. Kamotho entered elective politics in 1979 when he was elected Member of Parliament for Kangema. President Moi soon appointed him Minister for Higher Education. At the ministry, Kamotho is credited with resolving frequent closure of universities due to student unrest that had become common, especially every March when marking the death of former Nyandarua North Member of Parliament, J.M. Kariuki. Kamotho often rushed personally to the University of Nairobi and Kenyatta University College to address striking students. Some of his most enduring contributions were the implementation of the Mackay Commission report that recommended the establishment of Moi University as Kenya's second public university in 1981. The report also laid the foundation for the 844 education system. However, his political fortunes dimmed in 1983 when President Moi called snap elections following allegations that Attorney General Charles Jonjo and his allies were plotting against the government. Kamotho, seen as one of Jonjo's allies, lost his Kangema seat to John Michuke. Suddenly, the once powerful minister became a political outcast. Stripped of influence and struggling financially, Kamotho and his wife Eunice began selling groceries from a small kiosk in Nairobi's finance house. Still, he never gave up. He invited journalists to the kiosk, handed them handwritten statements, and remained determined to return to politics. That opportunity came in 1987 when President Moi toured Nyandarua. Kamoto managed to catch the president's attention and began rebuilding their relationship. In 1988, he returned to Parliament after winning the newly created Mathioya seat and was appointed Assistant Minister for Transport and Communication. He was soon elevated to full cabinet rank. His greatest rise came in 1989 when Moses Mudavadi died and Kamoto was appointed KANU Secretary General, becoming one of the most powerful men in the country. As party spokesman, he developed a reputation for terse, cutting remarks. When asked by journalists whether KANU would accept criticism or reform, his talk answer was often blunt: KANU shall not accept it. In 1993, when questioned about growing corruption, Kamoto famously replied that KANU had never promised zero tolerance on corruption in its manifesto. The remark shocked many Kenyans but reflected his characteristic sarcasm and political style. Despite losing several elections in the 1990s, Kamoto remained in parliament through presidential nomination and continued serving in cabinet, holding the trade, environment and local government portfolios. Kamoto was among President Moi's most loyal allies, constantly defended the ruling party by declaring that KANU ni baba na mama and Nyayo juu zaidi. But beneath his confidence, political divisions within KANU were growing. Kamoto belonged to the faction that supported Vice President George Saitoti as Moi's successor, while another camp preferred younger leaders including Uhuru Kenyatta, Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo Musyoka. In 2001, when KANU merged with Raila Odinga's National Development Party, Kamoto lost the Secretary General position to Raila Odinga in a ceremony at Kasarani Stadium. Angered by the chaotic party elections, he dismissed the exercise as a marketplace, subsequently coining the phrase Kasarani Kichinjio. He also warned that the KANU-NDP merger would not last, famously saying divorce proceedings would begin at the wedding. His prediction proved accurate. By 2002, Kamoto had concluded that KANU was losing power. He abandoned the party he had defended for decades and joined the opposition coalition that would eventually remove KANU from government. John Joseph Kamoto died of a heart attack in South Africa on 6 December 2014. He is remembered as a gifted communicator, a master political survivor, and one of the most loyal defenders of the Moi era. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet.
Life and times of former very powerful cabinet minister and also Secretary General of KANU. Let's shift gears now. In a section of elders in Kericho County has defended a 1,200-acre parcel of land in Sabret bordering the Mau Forest, insisting that the land belongs to the local community. The elders' remarks come amid growing tension over the ownership of the land, identified as LR number 9932, after individuals claiming ownership recently fenced off the disputed parcel. The move sparked outrage among residents, with a group of youths accompanied by local leaders pulling down the fence just days after it was erected.
Hii mchanga ni wa Kipsigis na hatutaki wakora au wale wanataka kunyang'anya wachukue. Vile vile wale walikuwa wameweka sekingi huko. Unaweka sekingi shamba ya nani na si yako. Kwa hivyo tunaambia hao wote wasahau hiyo.
Very well, at about 23 minutes past the top of the hour, time for me and Lucy to take a quick commercial break. But when we be back, more news, including business and sports.
Who are you really?
Who I am isn't important. What's important is that you keep in mind what I've said about the pagoda tree.
I think I know how to get you to talk.
I assure you, nothing I've said is a lie.
Some things you're better off not remembering. What happened here fits the bill.
Hello everyone, I go by the name Jedali Nazi. I am 7 years old. I am the brand ambassador Kisumu County.
I love drawing and I would like to become an architect in order to draw and design houses for people. I'm looking forward to learning and growing.
In our book today, we meet somebody who is also scared of needles. I wonder what happened during their visit to the hospital.
Happy hedgehogs hop hurriedly over the heath.
My name is Stephanie and today I'm going to show you how to make vanilla cupcakes.
Food is power, not just pleasure. Green vegetables, guardians of our blood, as grains give us energy.
Welcome back and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, Kwale County government is set to employ about 100 health officers once the supplementary budget currently before the county assembly is approved. Governor Fatuma Achani said the county assembly staff in the county. Recruitment drive will help address staff shortages in health facilities and improve service delivery across the county. The governor announced that while presiding over the swearing-in of the new Kwale County Public Service Board, which will be chaired by Mwanahamisi Libondo. Achani urged the board members to discharge their duties with integrity and professionalism, warning against tribalism, nepotism, and corruption in the recurrent process and other county functions.
Unajua hamna bahati ya kupumzika. Ile supplementary ambayo Mheshimiwa Manza amezungumza hapa iko na nafasi ya kuajiri wafanyikazi wa afya 100. Kwa hivyo ikipitishwa tu kama itakuwa hakuna changes, yani tayari tunaingia katika mambo ya recruitment ya wafanyikazi wa afya. Kwa sababu mbali na hiyo pia kuna kazi nyingi ambayo ilikuwa imesimama baada ile bodi nyingine kuondoka. Kwa hivyo yani mtaingia tu tayari na kazi ianze.
Time to make sense of business. The Kenya Private Sector Alliance is calling for urgent action to tackle illicit trade, warning that counterfeit goods and smuggling are costing the economy 800 billion shillings annually. Business leaders say legitimate businesses are losing significant market share to illegal operators, undermining investment, reducing tax revenues, and exposing consumers to potentially unsafe products.
The Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA, say illicit trade has become increasingly sophisticated, with criminal networks exploiting both traditional and digital markets to distribute counterfeit products. According to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, 1 in 5 products sold in Kenya is suspected to be counterfeit, with a growing share of transactions taking place through online and social commerce platforms. The Kenya Private Sector Alliance is calling for stronger coordination among government agencies, improved intelligence sharing and greater investment in technology to strengthen enforcement efforts. They also proposed stricter oversight of e-commerce platforms and reforms to law governing anti-counterfeit operation and cross-border trade. Industry representatives from sector including manufacturing, healthcare, construction, tobacco and consumer goods say illicit trade was creating unfair competition by allowing illegal operators to avoid taxes, duties and regulatory requirements. They warn that addressing the problem will be critical to protecting consumers, supporting legitimate businesses and strengthening Kenya's ambition to become a leading manufacturing and trading hub in the region.
Now, business conditions deteriorated sharply last month with companies reporting weaker sales, falling activity and rising costs. The Purchasing Managers Index PMI fell to a reading of 46.6 in May, up from 49.4 in April, marking the fastest decline in private sector activity since July 2024 and remaining below the 50-point threshold that separates growth from contraction. Christopher Legilisho, an economist at Standard Bank, says the private sector has been forced to reduce their workforce as consumers' purchasing power declines.
Kenyan firms recorded a decline in business condition in May as activities and new sales declined. The high cost of doing business and costly products weighed down on businesses and their customers, with constrained budgets affecting demand. Total input costs for business rose sharpest since November 2023, driven up by a marked rise in purchase costs, which pushed up commodity prices.
So we've just released the Stanbic Bank PMI, which is showing weakness. It's dropped from 49 previously to 46.6. And the clearest message that we are taking from this report is that the private sector is losing momentum. This is the third month where we've seen contractions from this report.
Construction and service firms recorded reduced activities in both output and new orders as manufacturing companies registered growth.
Two key messages that we could take away is, one, that we're still seeing weak demand conditions from clients and consumers, and that's weighing on new orders and it's also weighing on output.
Output charges rose at the steepest pace in 2.5 years. Lower new orders led to fresh contractions in employment and input buying.
Firms are feeling the pressure because of rising costs. Consumers as well, because they're also worried about higher fuel costs and transportation costs. Their budgets are also coming under pressure, and that's also weighing on the spending decisions.
Reduced pressure on capacity led firms to cut their workforce numbers for the first time in 16 months.
Workers, I think, are still resilient. Where we're seeing a bit of weakness is primarily with regards to temporary workers, where some firms have chosen to, because they're seeing weaker demand, to lay off particularly those who have short-term contracts.
Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, installation of e-mobility charging infrastructure is being accelerated through collaborations with development partners and utilities. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says electric motor vehicle charging station will soon become as popular and available as fuel stations. He was speaking at the launch of the 4th Annual E-Mobility Stakeholders Conference and Expo in Nairobi.
We are working closely with utilities, and they are here, most of them. County governments, investors, and technology providers to expand charging networks, strengthen grid infrastructure, and ensure that charging solutions are accessible, reliable, and above all, affordable across the country.
As technology advances and operational needs evolve, this transition will progressively extend to additional fleet to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve operational efficiency, and lowering long-term costs.
So this whole sector also of innovation and of electrochemistry will see a lot of breakthroughs in the next years. And Kenya is at the heart of this. And Europe, as was said earlier, and Germany are reaching out also to Kenya to make this revolution happen.
And across borders, job seekers in the United States are facing a tougher and more uncertain labor market, with many fearing that artificial intelligence AI is reducing opportunities for entry-level workers. Long queues are being witnessed outside career expos, where candidates gather in search of jobs amid growing competition and a slowdown in hiring across several sectors. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines from other parts of the world.
Searching for work in the United States say they are concerned that artificial intelligence was increasingly taking over roles traditionally filled by new graduates and early career professionals. According to career platform Hunter, the average time taken by job seekers to secure their first offer has nearly doubled over the past year, rising from 57 days to 108 days. Hunter officials say candidates now face competition not only from their peers but also from more experienced workers who have lost jobs and are applying for junior positions. Officials say learning to use artificial intelligence tools had become increasingly important for people entering the workforce. Meanwhile, South Africa is stepping up efforts to encourage sustainable seafood consumption as concerns grow over declining shark populations and the wider impact on marine ecosystems. Conservationists say overfishing and habitat destruction are threatening sharks and rays, with more than a third of species globally considered at risk of extinction. The Southern African Sustainable Seafood Initiative is using a color-coded system to help consumers identify seafood caught through more sustainable methods and avoid products linked to environmentally harmful practices such as bottom trawling. Finally, German manufacturers are finding it increasingly difficult to stock up on intermediate products due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The spillover effects of the war has extended far beyond the Middle East region and is impacting global supply chains. About 15.9% of German manufacturing companies experienced raw material shortages in May, up from 13.8% in April. Analysts say the effects of the Middle East conflict have hit German industries through the impact on energy, trade and supply chain channels. Many warn that rising energy prices are not only driving up industrial production and logistic costs, but may also gradually spill over into other sectors, including food and building materials.
Very well, this week on Magical Scenes, we take you to Masai Mara in Narok County, a destination where the vibrant Masai culture comes alive under a starlit sky and wildlife are easily spotted. Here's Mchuma Odim with the details.
The journey to our Mara experience begins at Wilson Airport, leaving behind the bustling city life for the untamed beauty of Mara Triangle at the Masai Mara National Reserve in Narok County.
95% of our passengers are international. The locals are coming up, but not yet. You find that international tourists are most of our passengers. We are very open to everyone. We want everyone to fly and experience a flying safari. So you start seeing the animals even before you land, and therefore start enjoying your safari from the air.
In 40 minutes, we landed at the Kichwa-Tembo airstrip in the Mara, a destination where nature's magnificence unfolds in every direction.
Do you see that? With binoculars, you can even see the details. Yeah.
We are situated on a private concession, which borders the Great Masai Mara National Reserve, just at the foot of the Orololo escarpment. In that line, it gives us good chance for every guest who comes here to experience different, game drive experiences or bush activities, being a private concession. So while you visit the two camps, you're able to enjoy the open views of the parade from your room. You're also able to enjoy a full year game drive experience.
Here, the air was fresh, carrying the scent of recent rains witnessed in the area. The Mara Triangle, a sanctuary renowned for its abundant wildlife and diverse flora, stretches out, inviting adventure. Our home for this unforgettable experience is a tented camp, artfully nestled within a lush, forested territory. At the Masai Mara, the Masai dance is a celebration of life, a reminder that beauty thrives in a tradition. Now, the man who jumps the highest wins himself a lady. During game drives, the drama of the wild largely plays out in real time. The recent trains rejuvenated the landscape, making wildlife sightings easy and a thrilling occurrence as animals graze and roam across the plains. Njue Odim, magical scenes in the county of Narok.
Scenic and breathtaking are hardly suitable words. To another feature story where storytellers are preserving history, using the stage to breathe life into stories of icons who shaped society, ensuring their legacies endure across generations. In cinemas and theatre today, our focus turns to a powerful production honoring Nobel laureate, the late Professor Wangari Maathai. Take a look.
Storytelling continues to play a vital role in preserving heritage, and this time the spotlight is on the life and legacy of Professor Wangari Maathai, a pioneer in environmental conservation, women's rights and social justice. Behind the scenes, actors under two Ali for Birds prepare for Wangari Maathai, a stage production that blends historical accuracy with creative storytelling to honor the Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
So we must stand up for what we believe in.
The play traces Wangari Maathai's journey from her early life in Ihithe village in Njue County, capturing her formative years in school and how her environment shaped her values and passion for nature. Through vivid performances, the production revisits her fight against deforestation and her push for reforestation through the Green Belt movement, as well as her advocacy for women's rights and democratic space.
I did not know so much about Wangari Maathai. I just knew about Karura and Uhuru Park. But reading and learning her story, Wangari had a full life. And the biggest challenge I have gotten from this story is to be fearless.
Through the Wangari Maathai story, we're not just seeing her as an aged woman, We're interacting with Wangari as young as less than 10 years old. And then we see the amount of impact that she was even making as a young person. Even when she was like 25 years old, she was already standing up for something. She was taking up space for speaking her voice and saying, this is wrong, this is right, making the right decisions. In the political space right now, we need that.
The play does not shy away from the challenges she faced, showcasing her resilience amid resistance and celebrating the global recognition that culminated in her Nobel Peace Prize in 2004.
We have to shed our fear and give hope to each other.
Now Too Early for Birds in its 8th edition, and inspired by a viral social media moment, Sorry for Trees, reimagines her story for a new generation, urging audiences to reflect on her courage and the responsibility of preserving her legacy through actions such as tree planting.
We are starting to see the effects of, the climate crisis, and I think that it's very important that we care. It is our duty to care, and it is our duty to know the repercussions and the ripple effects that something as simple as cutting a tree to build an entire expressway can have on our country, as we have seen recently with the floods.
When it comes to the environment, everything we're benefiting from now has a lot to do with the choices she made then. So who knows, if we decide to plant 2, 3, 4 other trees, if we decide to protect Karura and the national park and all these other places, then we will actually be doing justice and what is right for ourselves and for the future.
You can't believe what the nation of Islam is saying about Jesus.
The production will run for 5 shows from April 10th to April 12th, 2026 at the Giant Bhavan Auditorium. Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Time for sports. The Kenya national men's soccer team Harambee Stars are set to face Lesotho in their international friendly match today at the Lucas Moripe Stadium in South Africa. Harambee Stars head coach head into the match well prepared. The conducive training environment in South Africa boosting confidence ahead of the kickoff. They will face Lesotho in a 2-legged fixture, with the second match set to be played on Sunday at the same venue. The friendlies serve as preparation for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, albeit having already qualified as co-hosts alongside Tanzania and Uganda. Kenya is pooled in Group D alongside South Africa, Eritrea and Guinea in the Pamoja 2027 AFCON.
3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The Kenya national men's volleyball team made another step towards qualifying for the next round of the African Senior Nations Championship after maintaining their unbeaten run in the CAVB Zone 5 qualifiers last night. Wafalme ended Uganda's unbeaten run when they beat them by straight sets of 25-17, 26-24 and 25-22 to secure the second win at the Lugogo Indo Arena in Kampala, which puts them at the pole position in the standings. They had defeated Tanzania by straight sets in the match. Burundi also marked the second win after a straight set defeat of South Africa of 26, 24, 31, 29 and 25, 21. Kenya will face South Sudan today, hoping to march on before playing Burundi in their last match. Host Uganda will face Tanzania in an attempt to bounce back from last night's defeat.
It's a catch from Angelo Gideon, set for Marino. Shomukama out. People are going to enjoy.
Let's walk the talk now. No more banter. Oh. Very good service from Njue.
Nicolas Matsui.
And further afield, the 2025 French Open semi-finalist Diana Schneider will face the 114th ranked Maja Swiatek in today's semi-final tournament at the Roland Garros. This follows her 3-6, 7-6, 6-0 quarterfinal shock defeat of two-time Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka after capitalizing on Sabalenka's mistakes in the third and fourth sets to clinch victory. Schneider heads into the semi-final boasting a decorated run in the WTA circuit, where she currently sits in the 23rd spot with 1,796 ranking points. The Russian, who posted a 75% fast serve advantage against Sabalenka, will now face a formidable opponent in Swiatek, who holds a 91st position in the best doubles. Very well, and away from sports, back home, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has confirmed that the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, will broadcast the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals. The CS was speaking when he hosted the FKF Premier League champions Gor Mahia. He said the government had secured the rights for the global showpiece set to kick off from the 11th of June to 19th of July in the United States, Canada and Mexico. Let's now cross over to right here in KBC at our MD's office and have a listen. Good news, especially for sports fans.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We are pleased to inform the Kenyan public that through the National Treasury, the Honorable Cabinet Secretary, through a directive, approved funds to acquire free-to-air broadcasting rights for KBC for the FIFA World Cup rights. This means that Kenyans will be able to watch World Cup matches live and free on air without any subscription fee. Our team is now finalizing on the rights with the rights holder to ensure that every Kenyan is able to enjoy this global sporting event from the comfort of their homes. We thank His Excellency the President for coming out swiftly and ensuring that KBC gets this right. Keep it locked, more updates will follow.
Very well, that has been Kenya Broadcasting Managing Director Agnes Kaleche Nguna there, confirming and affirming that indeed we have the rights to the World Cup, which begins this month in the next couple of days. Which team are you supporting? Of course, don't forget, your true sports partner, KBC, has got you covered. Well, that's where we put a cap on KBC Lunchtime News with that fantastic news. And thank you so much indeed for joining us. My name is Bentro Njue. Lucy Maura has been my co-anchor on the sign language interpretation at the bottom of your screen. More news in our subsequent bulletin, but you can keep up with exactly what we are doing in our newsrooms via our social media spaces, including our KBC digital app. Many thanks indeed for joining us. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns.